Hey everybody, it's Bobby. Today's rant is titled Talking Monkeys. Uh, Hold on a second. Good cigar. I don't know how many of you have seen the movie The Prophecy. In The Prophecy, uh, there's a character played by Christopher Walken, who I love. Um, and what the movie is about a war going on in heaven, of all places, but some of the angels are jealous of human beings and the special treatment that they get from God. All right. Christopher Walken, I forget which angel he is. He might be Michael. He's one of the archangels. I'm not Christian, so I don't follow that stuff. But anyway, he's like one of the leaders of the angels that are jealous of human beings. And he refers to human beings as talking monkeys. And that's what we are. And here's the deal. If we really want to be truthful, and we go back and study what went on in the caveman days and what went on in the medieval times and what went on with the Roman Empire and other major eras in human history, and then we take a look at our technology, have we advanced very far from the cave, from the Inquisition, from even something as recent as the Germans in World War II or the Japanese? How far have we come? Where are we headed? One of my skills is I've been blessed with a mathematical brain. And one of the things that my brain does is it plays progressions. Like when you see stuff on Facebook, if this is this and this is that, and what is the next number? I'm very good at that kind of stuff. And the reason that I mention that is that if I take a look at human history as a mathematical progression and ask myself, based on the evidence, not on my opinion, but based on the evidence, what is it that's most logical to happen next, and so on and so forth. It's kind of like a game of chess or a pool. You take a look way beyond the next move. Well, take a look at the world today. Take a look at this country today. One of the things that I like to bring up in discussions like this is that we're very similar to Rome in many, many ways. Our decadence, our imperialism, all of that. And like what happened in Rome, all the pieces fell apart because their culture became unmanageable. Their society became unmanageable, decadent, self-fulfilling. Really didn't care about what happened tomorrow. Didn't care what happened to anybody else unless it didn't affect them. And actually, now that I think about it, calling us talking monkeys is actually an insult to monkeys. But we are very similar. One of the other things that I want to mention for those of you who believe in Adam and Eve as being factual, the way it's written, there's a lot of things that I could say that are unnecessary for me to say for this topic, so I'm not going to say them. I'm just going to say this, that just because Darwinists like myself, people who believe in the evolution not just of living things, but in the evolution of other physical things, planets, stars, and galaxies, the universe itself, so on and so forth. Just because we believe that does not mean that we don't believe that there was some type of a plan, some type of creator. One does not mutually exclude the other. You follow what I'm trying to say? I hope you are. So, in my heart, I'm a scientist. In my soul, I believe in God. I do not believe in religion. And I will say this because I say it to people that I know, and I'm not afraid to say it on Facebook. I don't believe in a devil. I believe in the forces of good and evil, just like I believe in matter and antimatter, and our energy and dark matter, and the matter that we can see. I believe in all of that stuff. But here's what I want to say. If I were the devil, if I were the incarnation of evil, the first thing I would do with human beings is invent religion. Religion is not about God. Religion is and has been, since before it was even organized, about control. It's about one person or a group of people trying to impose their will and their beliefs on others. I am not trying to change your minds at all, because I know that's impossible. All I'm doing is stating my truth. Doesn't have to be yours. And all I'm asking you to do is think about some of the things that we talk about on Facebook. Because you may not care in terms of you looking ahead and saying, well, climate change, that's not going to affect me. Well, you might be right. You might not. If you own beachfront property, you might not, depending on how old you are. It is not something that's going to happen. It is happening now. There are no reputable scientists, none, zero, who debate this. The debate can be, if you want to make the debate, that we had nothing to do with it. I'm an addict. If you're an addict or an alcoholic, you and I both know about how we as addicts and alcoholics try and mitigate blame and rationalize and justify things so that it's not my fault. I didn't do it. He made me do it. Or I did it because, my parents mistreated me. Whatever the fuck your excuse is. We are headed for some bad, bad times. And I'm not even talking about things like nuclear war or an asteroid hitting the planet or, all of the other things, the 7 things that scientists and that educators agree are the means by which the human race and or society could become extinct. We made movies about this kind of stuff. But I don't think that a lot of us take all this stuff seriously. So if you have children, I'm asking you to take it seriously. I'm asking you to take the time to stop watching Fox News, to stop watching MSNBC, stop watching all of it, and try reading. Try doing research. Try to figure things out for yourself. Try to find those mathematical progressions for yourself and ask yourself, based on what you see now, based on what your life experience has been, the things that you've seen, what do you think is going to happen next? We got a guy like, I call him Donald Duck now, Donald Trump, or Donald Hump. Running around talking a lot of shit. And frankly, a few of the things that he says may have some validity. But it's not about problems. It's about solutions. And it's not about a general solution like, well, I'll fix that, or I'll talk to him. It's about being specific. What are you going to do? Like what's going on in Syria right now. I hear people talking about what they're going to do with Putin. You got to remember something. It may not be the Soviet Union anymore, but they still got nuclear missiles. They still have, an armed force. We have a much bigger one. But do you really want a war with Russia? So we've got to be very careful about how we approach this. And at the same time, we can't just back off and be pussies either. It's going to take a very wise person, a wise man who is willing to think and willing to listen to find the solutions, at least in the near future. And by near future, I mean the next 20 years. Are we going to survive that long? Based on what you see today, do you really think that if you disappeared to another planet in 20 years and you came back 20 years from now, you think you'd recognize the human race if it still exists? We are very close to the apocalypse. Now again, I don't believe, that these things came from God that are written in the Bible. They were written by men over many, many years, centuries. But I do believe a whole lot of the Bible makes perfect sense. Just like I don't believe Jesus Christ was anything more than you or I in terms of the eyes of God. But I do believe that he had a lot of good stuff to say. And I also believe that a lot of people took that and used it for politics. And what's politics? Politics is controlling the will and the lives of others, imposing the will of a few on the lives of the many. That's what it is. And I'm not saying I have a solution to that. I'm just stating a fact. A large society, both here in this country, and globally, we can't survive without rules, guidelines, something. It's not Narcotics Anonymous. It's not about spiritual principles. It's about power and money. And I'm going to close this one with this. There is nowhere, anywhere in human history where power and wealth has been turned over voluntarily. Heck, we tried it with King George. We asked them nicely. I mean, our founding fathers were loyal British citizens at one time. And when the king basically said, hey, colonists, fuck you, he did it one time too many. And our founding fathers came to the conclusion that there was no peaceful solution. I love and admire Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, all these people of peace. I believe in my heart the same things that they do. It's just I don't believe it's going to happen that way. I believe in what Al Capone said. He said, or he is alleged to have said, you can get more with a gun and a kind word than you can with just a kind word. And our founding fathers actually wrote, not into the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence, but they wrote in their writings, that there is justification in revolution. And I'm not saying that I advocate the violent overthrow of the U.S. government, but I do advocate the peaceful overthrow of the United States government by a militant force, meaning not a force that's out there talking nicely. That's the choice. So either get off your asses and stop bitching and moaning about shit, or do whatever it is that you think you need to do, whether you're on the right, you're on the left, you're in the middle. Do whatever it is that you think that needs to be done to make our country safe, to try to do our part, because we can't do it alone, to do our part to ensure some type of global stability, or else you're a fucking talking monkey. That's all I got today. God bless y'all.